So here we are. We're going to pretend my pain cave is where you are setting up your transition for your race. So we're going to assume that your bike is racked on the rack and you've got the front wheel and the handlebars not on the rack. Do not rack your bike by the handlebars. You'll see my cat wandering around helping us out. Make sure it's racked by the seat or the back of the seat, or if you've got any kind of water bottle holders, it's racked by those as well. So make sure that you've got that rack properly so your bike wheel is sitting out away from the rack. So the key is, I got my gear here and usually I'm wearing my race shoes. So that is key, and usually I've got my bike helmet strapped to my transition bag. So you've got these and you're coming through and you're getting ready to set up. Everything is in my transition bag. There's some things that already come already loaded onto the bike, so I go through it. I make sure I have all my loose stuff in my bag so I don't lose all my small stuff. I got my towel for after the race, I got a bag for after the race, a water bottle for after the race, so that kind of goes to the side. Usually I've got the lower half of this on of my tri-suit, so I'm already wearing that. Usually I've already got my undershorts on, so I've already come to the race with that. So I've got my speed suit, I got my wetsuit, and I usually leave these in my bag until we find out for sure is wetsuit legal or not, and then use the appropriate one, put the other one in the bag. Shoes for bike, and I pack my bike's socks in my shoes. So notice I'm not really laying anything out because I want my transition mat or towel, whatever you're using. So you gently lift up your bike. And I put the wheel on there. I try to get a little bit out because you want to be in your bike area as much as possible. Don't spread out widthwise, spread out lengthwise of your bike. You should have ample room in between bike racks in order to kind of set out. So notice I've got a little bit of space out here to set my stuff on. Generally, I will set my bike shoes on either side of the wheel because sometimes the bike wheel might be a little loose. If the transition rack's a little high, it'll tilt around. So for my socks, as I mentioned in my gear that I bring for a race, I get them ready to actually put on. I scrunch them up, so all I got to do is just put them on with thumbs, put them on my foot, and I'm ready to go. I put a little bit of Vaseline in the toes, or a lot of Vaseline for lubrication. So I just put those in my bike shoes because I wear the same socks for bike and run. I've already done tri-tats. I put my run gear here. Let's say I've already taken my shoes off, so I kind of want to have a little run pile going. So I just noticed I've just got things kind of piled up in the grouping they go with. These are my bike bottles. Usually I have these full and they're already on my bike. So those are already on the bike in transition. Got my race bib for running. Got my glasses. Let's say I'm going to use them for the bike, so I put them with my bike helmet. This bottle here is water only, and that's for washing my feet, so I'll kind of lay that here. I don't really care if water gets everywhere, but I don't want to lay it up because people come by and kick it, and then you've lost it. So I always put that up there. Lay the sunscreen out, that's pre-race. Here's the Aquaphor that I put in my socks. I put that in there and then put it back in the bag. I've got my extra marker, I've got my electrical tape if I need it, put that to the side. Swim cap goes with swim gear. Early season tries, the water's a little bit cold, so I do use a neoprene swim cap underneath the swim cap. So I've got my tri-slide, I got my stuff for after. If your heart rate strap, put that with your stuff too if you use one. I typically don't. So I got my swim stuff, my little swim pile here. All your nutrition. So you're laying that out, you're either putting it in if you grab something in T1, like I'll do a goo. So I'll just kind of lay it there with my bike stuff so I can just grab it and go and I'm ready to go. The other stuff you want to put on your bike, in your bag, or wherever it's going, so lay that out properly. I also do hot shot in T1, so I'll put that with my stuff, but I will break the cap and make sure it's ready to go because when you come out of the water, your hands will be wet and you'll be in a hurry, you get all frustrated, you can't open the cap. So I make sure I break the seal before the race starts. So that's laying there. I've got another bottle that I typically take before the race, so that goes with my swim stuff. Same with nutrition. If you eat something before the swim starts, I would put it with your bike or your swim stuff. Got my extra inner tube, don't need it. Cat does not go in transition. This is the stuff that I used before when I got dressed at the house, so that's not necessarily part of transition. I've got other cleanup stuff afterwards that doesn't go in there, other cleanup stuff. So all this extra stuff I put back in the loose stuff bag. So I do not lose it. Because nothing worse than having all this stuff loose, especially if it's dark before a race and you can't find it. So always keep your loose stuff together. The rest of the stuff in here is just clothes. And don't forget, if all you wear is these pair of shoes, I've got my flip-flops in my bag, so once I put these down, I can wear these the rest of the morning. So it's kind of nice to set everything down. So I might put, actually my run shoes keeps the wheel from moving around in the transition area. I might put my bike shoes kind of to the side, or I might put my run shoes over here, my bike shoes on this side. So I'm keeping my transition area nice and compact. I don't want to take up a lot of space with it. So I make sure I keep all my stuff in the same spot. Put the nutrition there. I put it in my shoes so it doesn't get kicked or rolled off. My run stuff, I put my cap on there or Bondi band, whatever you're going to use. I'm going to use sunglasses for the run. Say you have visors, I'd put it in your shoe if you're going to use it for the bike. Put it in your shoes, you're going to use it for the run. So you have everything. It's not loose. It's not rolling around. You put the bib on the bib holder. So I put that right there underneath my hat and everything, ready to go. Notice I don't snap it on. I don't get anything ready to do. So sunscreen. And again, the cat does not belong in transition. So the sunscreen I put right here if I'm going to do it before the bike ride. After T1, you come in from the swim. You want a fresh coat of sunscreen on, so that's what I use. So basically, this is my transition setup. So notice it's nothing too crazy. My bike helmet, typically, I will put on top of my shoes because I put it on my handlebars and people have actually knocked it off. So I put it on the ground just to make sure it doesn't get knocked off. But notice, I've got, you put the water bottle down so it doesn't roll away, put your sunscreen down so it doesn't roll away. This is a nice, tight, compact transition area. I put everything back in my bag and I put it underneath the bike. Your bag will probably get grease on it. It probably will touch your gears, but you have got this little space to work with and that is your space. So this right here is my tight little compact transition area. So I bring everything I think I'm going to need and I break everything out of the bag that I do need for sure. I put my loose stuff back in my bag. Leave my bag a little bit open before the race just in case I need to get back in there for anything. Notice I have my swim stuff over here to the side. So that's the stuff I'm carrying around. I'm waiting to see what they call for. They say it's wetsuit legal. I'll put my wetsuit on, put my speed suit back in the bag. You got your swim cap, got a neoprene cap, you're using it. Tri-slide you put on, and then you put in your bag because you don't need it anymore. So you don't want a bunch of stuff in your transition area to roll around and make a mess. So this is the layout that I would recommend for your transition setup. Again, simplification of the transition layout is key so you're not flustered. You come out, here's your bike stuff, here's your bike helmet, you're out of there. Don't put your bike stuff, don't mix it with your run stuff, don't make a big mess. Got your water bottle, wash off your feet. Sunscreen up before you head out. Get your nutrition, your hydration, anything you're going to need before you go out. Everything's already on your bike and you're ready to go. I use a watch only to record my race. I do not have a bike computer. That way it's simplified. I don't have to mess with it. It's easy to go. If you've got a bike computer, put it on there, get it set up, get it started, ready to go. So when you come through, you don't have to jack with that. But make sure you're mentally going through your transition so you know how you want to lay it out and know everything that you want to do in transition. So again, the key is simplification. Bring everything you think you're going to need, lay out what you definitely need, wait for the call on the wetsuit, put away what you don't need, and then you're just chilling till the race start. Make sure whatever you've got in your hands is probably just nutrition, goggles, earplugs if you need them, and I put them in my swim cap and I carry it around until we're ready to start the race. So by the time they tell you get out of transition, you're not scrambling around, you don't have your hands full of stuff, you don't know where you're supposed to put your stuff, and then you're all set and ready to go, especially if it's a cooler morning, if it's wetsuit legal. I put the wetsuit on in transition and I'm wearing it and keeping warm, and it's not that big of a deal. So again, this video, talking specifically how to set up your transition area. Simplification is the key. And if you got any questions or you have anything else you want to know about, just drop me a line. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Talk to you later.